What's up YouTube? Vintage Dollface back with another video. Today we are rating the Generation 9 Pokemon. This will be the final rating video for all of the generations. We will now have covered all of them, all 9. So I am excited to get into these. These are the most new Pokemon that have been released and I cannot wait to go over them with you guys. Don't forget to hit that like button down below to show me that you are excited for our last generational ranking video as well. Subscribe if you are new here, I would very much appreciate it. And without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and jump into those Generation 9 ratings. Kicking things off with Sprigatito, who gets a 10 from me. Florgato is gonna get an 8, and Meowscarada actually gets a 9. I do like the grass dark typing. Fuecoco, little derpy boy, is gonna get a 9. Crocalor gets a 7 from me. Not a fan of that middle design. Skeledirge also gets a 9. I really love the way that they designed it. Quaxley gets a 6 from me. My least favorite of the starters. Quaxwell also gets a 6. And I'll give Quickwobble a 6 as well. I do not like that line. Lechonk gets a 6 from me. Winkalone also gets a 6. Tarantula is gonna get a 7 for me. And Spidops gets a 5. I know it's probably not starting out very promising. It gets better. Nimble gets a 6 and Lokix gets a 7. Pommy gets an 8. Pommo also gets an 8, and Palmot gets a 9 from me. Big staple of my main team, first time I ever played through. Tandemouse is gonna get a 6, and Mousehold gets a 6 as well. I do think that it's a cute design, little family. Fido gets an 8, and Doxbun is gonna get an 8 as well. Smoliv gets a 10. Dolive also gets a 10, and so does Arboliva, according to the anime. Squawkabilly gets a 6. Knackley gets an 8. I really like this Pokemon. This was also another staple on my team. Knacklestack gets a 7, and Garganacl gets a 7 as well. Charcadet gets a 7. Armarouge is gonna get a 7, and Ceruledge 10. I really like Ceruledge. Tadbulb is gonna get a 6. Bellybolt gets a 7. Killer ability. Wattrel is gonna get a 6. And Kilowattrel gets a 7. Mastiff is gonna get a 6. Bostiff gets a 7. Trudel gets 6. I really had high hopes for this Pokemon, but ended up not liking it as much as I thought. Grafaiai also gets a 6. Bramblin is gonna get a 7. So does Bramblegast. Toadschool is gonna get a 6. Toadscruel gets a 7. Cloth gets a 6. Capsakid gets an 8. So does Scolvalin. Relor gets a 6. And Rabsca gets a 6 as well. Flittle is gonna get a 9, and so does Espathra. Tank gets an 8. Tankatuff is gonna get a 9, and Tinkaton gets a 10 for sure. Wiggly gets a 6. Wugtrio is also gonna get a 6. Bombardier, I'm gonna give a 7. Venison gets a 7. Palafin is gonna get a 6. I actually don't like Palafin. Varoom gets a 6.5, and Reveroom gets a 6. Cyclizar is gonna get a 7. Orthworm gets a 3. I hate this Pokemon. Glimmet gets a 6. Glamora is gonna get a 7. Grievard gets a 7. And Houndstone gets a 7 as well. Flamigo gets a 6. Cetoddle gets a 6. Titan is gonna get a 6.5. Veluza gets a 5. Dondozo is also gonna get a 5. Tatsugiri is gonna get a 7. Annihilate gets an 8. Love Annihilate. I think it's an awesome Pokemon. Clodsire gets a big fat 10. And so does Paldean Wooper. It's not on here, but they both get a 10. Farigiraf is also gonna get a 10. Actually, let's give it a 9. Dunsparce gets a 4. Stupid. King Gambit gets a 7. Great Tusk is gonna get a 7.5. Screamtail gets a 7. Brute Bonnet is also gonna get a 7. Fluttermane gets a 9. Slitherwing gets a 7. Sandy Shocks is gonna get a 6. Iron Treads gets a 6 from me. Iron Bundle gets a 5. Iron Hands is gonna get a 7.5. Iron Jugulus also gets a 7. Iron Moth gets a 7. Iron Thorns is gonna get an 8. Frigibax gets a 6. Arctibax also gets a 6. And then I'm gonna give Baxcalibur an 8. Gimmighoul is gonna get a 7. And Goldango also gets a 7. Wuxian is gonna get a 7. Shinpao gets a 9. Tinglu is gonna get a 6. Chiyu gets a 7. Roaring Moon gets an 8.5 from me. Iron Valiant gets a straight up 10. Love it. Koraidon gets a 9, and Miraidon I'll also give a 9. There are many more Paradox Pokemon, such as Raging Bolt, who is going to get an 8 from me. Gouging Fire is going to get a 7.5. Walking Wake gets an 8. I love that it looks like a raptor. Iron Crown is gonna get a 6 from me. Iron Leaves gets an 8. Iron Boulder is gonna get a 6. There are a few Pokemon that were not included in that slideshow, so we're gonna talk about those as well. Ogerpon is such a cool Pokemon and a really cool design. I love the idea of the masks invoking different Terra types, and I am going to give Ogerpon a 9. The new legendary trio that we get introduced to in Kitakami, they are right here, the 3 of them. We've got Okidogi, which is going to get a 7 from me. Pheasantipity, which is actually going to get a 9. And then Munkidori gets an 8. We also have 2 new evolutions of Applin. We've got Diplin and we've got Hydrapple. Hydrapple is going to get an 8 from me. Diplin gets a 9. Poltergeist and Sinestia, those are really cool Pokemon as well. I'm going to give both of them an 8. Blood Moon Ursaluna, scary thing that it is. I'm going to give it a 7. Archaludon, which is Duraludon's new evolution, is going to get a 6 from me. Terrapagos is going to get a 9 from me. Super cute, and I love the stellar Terra type that they introduced with Terrapagos. Pecharunt I don't have much experience with, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 7.5 on design and type alone. Thank you so much for watching this video today. I hope you enjoyed it. These are so much fun. I really enjoyed all these ranking videos, and this is the last one. We've now done Generation 9, and there will not be another one until Pokemon, if Pokemon decides to put out a new generation, so we will just have to wait and see. However, there is a little bit that I could do with Hisuian Pokemon, so hit that like button down below if you want to see me rate the Hisuian Pokemon from the Legends Arceus game. I really loved that game. I also cannot wait for Legends Lumio City to come out. I'm so excited for that one, and I'm very curious if we're going to get new forms in that game as well. Subscribe if you are new here and have not done so already. It is free. Just click that subscribe button right down below in the description next to my username. You can also hit that notification bell if you want to get updated anytime I upload a new video to the channel. Thank you again for watching this video. I appreciate your support here on the channel. I will see you guys in the next video, but until then, bye!